Hey everyone, welcome to another Pioneer video here on Magic Arena. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So Final Fantasy has landed, the new set is out on Magic Arena. So today we are playing the first gameplay video with the new cards. So I've got mixed feelings about Final Fantasy as a set. It feels very much like a repackaged Commander set that's been kind of retrofitted into Standard, and that's kind of what it is. But on the other hand, there are some really cool cards and some cool card designs that may have an impact in our format. I should say our format. I didn't invent it, and neither did you. But we are going to be starting off with some Rakdos midrange, and this deck is very much just kind of jam lots of new cards, so it's probably not finely tuned, but I just want to try out as many kind of new cards as is practical in a kind of individual deck, and particularly I'm interested to see what Dark Confidant can do. So this is a new to Pioneer card, reprinted into Standard for the first time since 2005. I think it was in the original Ravnica set. And it's a 2/1 for 2 in black, and it says, at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. So a great source of card advantage if it sticks around. And I think the if it sticks around question is the kind of the question to ask about this card. Will it actually survive long enough in the year 2025 with all of the removal that we have now, all of the powerful creatures to kind of make an impact? But yeah, it's powerful. The effect is very powerful, no doubt. So because we're running Dark Confidant, this is a very low to the ground curve deck. It maxes out at 3 because you really don't want to be taking that much life loss from the cards you're drawing. So yeah, Dark Confidant is here. We're also running a Summon Brynhilda, which is a 2/1. It's one of the new saga creatures, enchantment creatures sagas. So it goes away after 3 turns, but this one gives you a bit of card advantage and then gives the next creatures you cast in the second and third chapter turns haste, which combined with something like a Preacher of the Schism or an Unstoppable Slasher is a pretty neat little interaction. So yeah, interested to see how that does. Our other new 2-drop is Garland, Knight of Cornelia. 3/2 with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1. It does also have a 7 mana recur from the graveyard clause, which won't come up very often, but occasionally might give us some additional value. But that ability to kind of sculpt the next card that we're drawing synergize particularly well with Dark Confidant, and from kind of Dragon Rage Channeler. Is that it? Dragon Rage Channeler in Modern. The ability to just surveil whenever you cast a non-creature spell is sneakily quite good. And we got a lot of non-creature spells with our Fatal Pushes, our Thought Seizes, our Torch the Towers, Fables, and the like. Then our other new card is Cecil Dark Knight. So this is the 2/3 for 1 with Death Touch, but whenever it deals damage, you lose that much life, and then if that happens and your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, it turns into a 4/4 lifelink. So I'm interested to see how this one combines with Dark Confidant. In the era of mono red, the life loss between these two cards might just be too aggressive for them to synergize well. So I think that is worth bearing in mind. And then, yeah, the rest of the deck is cards that you'll recognize from a kind of Rakdos mid-range shell. Fear of Missing Out, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Go for the Throat, some removal, 1 copy of Croxer just to give us something to do with the cards that we're sticking in the graveyard with Garland or whatever it may be, discarding with FOMO. So yeah, 23 lands, I think, as it's quite low to the ground curve. A couple of Mutavaults, not the full playset because this isn't really running the Annex and Demons kind of thing. Urborg, 1 creature land, and then just some basic lands as well. Then we got Duress in the sideboard, so some additional hand disruption. This is kind of a sideboard you'll recognise from most Rakdos mid-range decks. So some additional removal, Anoint with Affliction, Go for the Throat, another copy of that. New card with Suplex, which is kind of it's an augmented Abrade, but at sorcery speed. So it kind of does the same thing, but it's exiles and things you target, which I think is enough of an upside to justify being at sorcery speed. Plus, in an era of Corey Steelcutters, we want as much artifact removal as we can. Damping Sphere, we know what that does. Unlicensed Hearse. Targeted Graveyard Hate leaves our graveyard alone. Go Blank, similarly. Kolagon's Command, just a good 2 for 1 against certain matchups. And then we do have a 4-drop in the sideboard, so obviously with Dark Confidant that can be a bit painful. But Extinction Event just for mass removal that will leave, almost a lot of our creatures, I should say, not almost all of them, but a lot of them are 2 mana, so even mana cost, so we can potentially Extinction Event in a way that protects most of our board. But yeah, that is the deck. I'm excited. This is, as I say, we're just playing lots and lots of new cards and seeing what makes an impact. So I think it's going to be a bit up and down, and we'll kind of evaluate as we go along. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and let's take this deck onto the ladder. Yeah, this is a pretty good start. We are going to want another land, but hopefully got a couple of draw steps and maybe a Dark Confidant draw to find it. This artwork, I like it, I think. It's the original was a one of the World Championship cards that was designed with the kind of the likeness of one of the world champions, but I think as you can't really do that anymore, this is, and to kind of fit with the Final Fantasy theme, I think that works quite well. Yeah, that's not really one that's worth fatal pushing, unfortunately. Okay, so looks like Greasefang is what the opponent's on. So I think let's get Dark Confidant into play. There's a hole in my plan. Is it that you're going to kill my Dark Confidant? Yes. Well, there we are. First one. First time being killed. Okay, that's a good draw. So I think... do we want Preacher or do we want Fable? I think let's get... Well, Preacher gives us more value, actually, from sticking around. They don't have any vehicles in the bin. I think we will struggle game 1. Against Greasefang. Okay, there's Parhelion, so... we are going to need to hold up removal for that now. Hopefully I can draw a land, which, yes, okay, good, because that'll allow me to both FOMO and hold up, go for the throat. So I'll play a FOMO. Discard one of these Fables. Okay, Summon Brynhilde is a good 2-drop for next turn, maybe. I see. Okay. No immediate Greasefangs in presenting themselves here. Okay, well they've now got 3 Parhelions in the graveyard. Another Stitcher's Supplier, sure thing. So I think I'll push the Rafine's Informant, just get it off the battlefield. Is there a way of getting Delirium this turn? Well, let's play the Summon Brynhilde and see what happens. Ooh, Garland's interesting. I'm not going to play it at the moment because I need to hold up the mana for Go for the Throat. Okay, well, I think that's all their Parhelions now. Yeah, this is always the problem. The Thoughtseize into Greasefang. Yep. Okay, that's probably game. Yeah, I think it almost certainly is, so... That's okay. So... I won't go blank. Wants the other go for the throat. Unlicensed Hearse for sure. Anoint with Affliction. Then I'm less fussed about Thoughtseize, I think. Although it is an answer to their Thoughtseizes. Yeah, maybe I will leave it in. I'm going to take out Preacher. That all seems a little bit too slow for just killing them. I think Unstoppable Slasher is probably better. Torch the Tower is fine. Fatal Push is just okay. Maybe trim a couple of those. A couple of Summon Brynhilders. And go from there. Yeah, I think this hand's fine. Yeah, so Croxer's not a bad one to have drawn in this situation. Okay, well, let's swipe away their graveyard here. That's an interesting choice. Okay. Let's have a look at their hand. Cool. Okay, well, I'll take their Greasefang. Croxer away there. Gives it haste. Can't. Okay, they are now out of stuff to do. Ooh, Brynhilda into Slasher is actually a pretty nice little interaction, so... Don't mind if I do. It never survives. They've always got the Witherbloom command. So I could just bring back Croxer here. I actually think that's a decent shout. Gives it haste. They have to discard both their cards this way. No, they want to keep that one. I assume that's a Greasefang then. Or something that... I mean, they don't have Parhelion in the graveyard at least. Yeah, fine. Thanks for coming. So let's anoint with Affliction away their Greasefang. Attack with Croxer. I think that's fine as a triple block. This will eventually come back. Greasefang and the Fiend's Informant. Okay, let's get Garland into play. Also Dark Confidant. Say go. A Liberator. Well, they've drawn well. You can't criticise them for that. Okay, let's fire up the old Unlicensed Hearse. Eat a couple of their creatures. We're going to have to block here, unfortunately. Ah. Is that going to save me? I don't think it is. We'll play the Slasher anyway. We're kind of hoping our Dark Confidant dies this turn, which it most likely will. Another Chariot, huh? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I couldn't quite get there. Unfortunately, that Chariot coming back was just a bit too much value. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, this will do. So the opponent's on Yorion, so it could be control. So, assuming that it is, I think I'm going to Cecil straight away. Because I think just having a 2-3 in play is actually pretty good. Okay, more of a... Get Garland into play, as it's a 3-2 which can stand against their vampires. This is probably self-bounce. So-so. Right, let's have a look in their hand. Huh. I think I'll take the Treacherous Blessing as they've got so much removal already. Oath of Kaya, which I presume will go after my Cecil here before it flips. Well, I suppose it's still mono-coloured, isn't it, even after it flips, so... More land is a bit meh. Oh well. Force the opponent to use their removal on this lifelinker then. And they do. Yeah, okay, that's not terrible. So yeah, play Croxer. I think I'll just hold back with the Mutavault, just because the opponent's got a bit more life than I have. So I've got 5 cards in the bin. Yeah. Well, this will be slightly punishing on their life total, at least, hopefully. Yeah, let's get the Fable of the Mirror Breaker into play. I wonder if this is a Doom Foretold deck. It might be. There might be some Doom at hand. Okay, well that's a good way of stopping us getting our Croxer online. Yep, that would have been a good one to draw with Fable in hand. Yep, Yorion puts them to 7. They'll blink their Oath of Kaya, which will put them to 10. Three more cards. So yeah, I could Garland, which just comes back as a 5/5 flyer. I mean, it's almost certainly going to die, but I think that's probably the best thing to do. Chaos the Endless. Yeah, they've got a full group of cards here. It doesn't look ideal. We have drawn quite badly. Just flooded out with lands. Okay, discard my Preacher. Yep, okay, fair enough. So it is a Doom Foretold deck. So yeah, we definitely want Duress in this matchup. What else do we want? I think Duress is probably enough. And then maybe rid of... I'm going to get rid of Cecil in this matchup, just because they've got so much removal for it that all it did there was just kind of drain my life total. Yeah, Brynhilda into Preacher is a pretty good 1-2. Brynhilda into Slasher is an even better one. It's never land, is it? It's never land. No, I assume my Unstoppable Slasher's getting taken here. Oh, they really don't like my Dark Confidence, do they? Okay, let's get Preacher down. This is also Oath of Kaya resistant, which is quite good. Okay, Rest in Peace is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So, let's play a Summon Brynhilda. Fear of missing out. Discarding Torch the Tower. So yeah, we got a chance to do the thing again. They didn't let me do the thing. I was so ready to do the thing with my Slasher. Well, I feel like we threatened to do the thing, and that's enough. So I'll put Go Blank in on the draw. Take out probably one Garland and run it back. Just want to hit as much of their hand as possible, I think, when I'm on the draw. Just really take away their ability to get so much value. Yep, I think this is a keep and just hope. Yeah, this is a keep and pray very, very fast. Okay, that will do. What do I do? What don't I like here? I really don't like Oath of Kaya. Momentum Breaker is annoying in different ways. I mean, yeah, I'm going to take the Oath. Yeah, that's fine. Let's discard one Dark Confidant. I think I'm just going to feed them Dark Confidants. Yeah. Garland will die. Unfortunately, I can't Garland and immediately get value off it. So maybe I think I just play Slasher on the assumption that this just keeps coming back. And it's quite an, it's a difficult one for Momentum Breaker. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just chill. Let's torch the tower and be rid of that. Okay, well, at least that comes back again. Get Fable of the Mirror Breaker into play. Game. I've asked you to cast a card. No, you're not going to do it? Okay. Oh, it's done this to me before. Hold that thought. And nearly an hour later, I'm back after Arena had the mother of all meltdowns. So we can count that one as a draw, because, who's to say whether I would have won that game? I was definitely going to lose. Hello, Dorito. Humans. Humans. I mean, a 3-bit Inspector isn't the best target for a Fatal Push, but it's more mana efficient, so... Is it going to happen? Are we going to get to trigger our Dark Confidant? Woo! And that's actually a pretty good trigger. So, do I want to kill this Thalia straight away? Or do I want... It's a little bit on the awkward side, to be honest. Obviously, I would ideally like to Fatal Push it and then play something else. So, yeah, let's just play FOMO instead. Then set up for a better turn next turn, maybe. So this is many colour humans, which explains all of these rainbow lands. Yeah. Okay, so I do want that Mantis Rider out of the way. But let's start with... I can't push it, unfortunately. I can't go for the Throat It, unfortunately. Maybe I do just push the Thalia, and then... Yeah, maybe I just do all removal this turn. Yeah. That's Fatal Push Thalia. Go for the Throat Mantis Rider. Yeah, let's just be a bit aggy. Ooh, a Kitesail Larcenist. I mean, to be fair, the Confidant's drawn us. What? 2 cards there, can't complain too much. Ugh. Yeah, this is too much land. I mean, kind of quite obscene amount of land for my 23 land deck. Ooh, the Siegebreaker, which I assume is going to take the Thalia's Lieutenant. Yeah, that's a neat little interaction, that one. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I think I'm taking the damage here, unfortunately. I could have blocked the 1-1, I suppose. Yeah. Just another Dark Confidant is really not where we want to be right now. Yep, no, we got massively flooded out there, unfortunately. So, I want Kolagon's Command. I want Anoint with Affliction, go for the Throat. Probably Extinction Event as well. Thoughtseize seems a bit rough, and yeah, I don't think I want Cecil. Maybe a Suplex instead. That's fine. Again, this hand's not amazing, but Jesus, how much land am I going to draw in these games? It's only a 23 land deck. I don't want it. Okay. Well, let's see what we get off the Brynhilda. Okay, Dark Confidant's pretty good, so I'll push the Voice of Victory. More land, huh? Do I want a Confidant, or do I want a Slasher, assuming my Dark Confidant will survive and get to do both things? Yeah, I think the kind of the Slasher haste thing is a bit too tempting. Ooh, nice. Take that all day long. Yep. Stop giving me land. Okay, Notion Thief, whilst annoying, is not exactly the end of the world. Also, like, Dark Confidant doesn't draw cards, so it doesn't interact with Notion Thief at all. It's pretty tough on the life. Yeah, those would be that way around, wouldn't they? Yeah, I can't really attack with Preacher, unfortunately, so I think I'm just going to use that as a blocker. But let's attack with Slasher. I'll get Fable of the Mirror Breaker into play. At least I can double discard next turn. Oh no, I can't, because I can't use, because they got blooming Notion Thief. So I go to 5 here. Okay, that's a decline from me, so I'll play the Summon Brynhilda. Interesting. So I've got to push the Mantis Rider, unfortunately. And I can only do that by attacking with the token generator. So I'll push Mantis Rider. I go to 4, I'll play another Mutavault, and then I think I'm just hoping to all-out attack next turn. It's going to be a close one. If they play another Mantis Rider, I'm just dead. Okay, that's not death. Okay, that should be lethal. I will have to play this FOMO, giving them an extra card, unfortunately, but wait, do I even need to? Wait, hang on, let's work this out. So, Mutavault, activate. They can block 3. They don't have any life gain. I think that's fine. Yep. Okay, that was a close one. Again, we massively flooded out there, which is concerning. Pretty concerning. So I'm going to put the other suplex in. I think I'm going to put a couple of Thought Seizers in on the draw. Probably trim 2 Dark Confidants and an Extinction Event. No more flooding. Okay, this seems like a pretty decent opening hand. So, do I kill the Warden with a torch to the tower? I think that's probably the right thing to do. And save Fatal Push. Ooh, Thalia's Lieutenant onto an empty board. We love to see it. Okay, well, I think that basically gives me permission to cast to summon Brynhilda. Oh, look, another land. That's fun. Where'd all this land come from? So let's take out the Mantis Rider with the go for the throat. I think I will shock in this just to give myself access to Fatal Push. Okay, so they've got Notion Thief. I think I'll just go kill this anyway. It's all Fable all the time, I see. Well, I may as well play one then. No, it's Coco instead. Fair enough. That's quite a neat little interaction with Voice of Victory. 2 collected companies, okay. Good, good. No, there goes my creature. Nah, I kind of need an extinction event now. Ditch land and Fable. Okay. I still feel super dead here, but let's see what else happens. Ooh, right. Do I do it on Delny or do I do it on the Voice of Victory? I think I've kind of got to do it on... I mean, do I even live? I suppose I do survive, so yeah, let's take out the Voice of Victory. Just hope for the best here. Okay, well, I like them using their clues rather than casting things. 4 mana confluences, that's painful. Yep. Okay, that could have been worse. Yeah, that taxing making Fable more expensive is actually quite annoying. I think we're hoping we survive a turn so we can start copying FOMOs. Double Reflector Mage trigger is pretty spicy. Oh god, I can't even block it, can I? Yeah, I think... No, I go to 1. Yeah, this Delny has completely wrecked me. Yeah, and I've drawn terribly. That's annoying. Right, let's try this once more, and then I think we can call it a day. Where's all of this land coming from? Jesus. There! Stop it. Okay, Dark Confidant feels like a risk given what we know about red, but I also think it's a risk. When we've got a hand like this, it's kind of a risk you have to take. No, it's red-blue. Okay, maybe it's not... Probably not quite as bad then. Yep, land from Dark Confidant is good. Another land is not good. What on earth is going on here? Did Arena having a breakdown also break the shuffler? Yep, there's VV. Yeah, VV, interesting. Interesting indeed. Let's start by attacking with Preacher. We get a 1-1. Yeah, this has Death Touch. I don't know if you know about that. Are you happy with that? Is that what you wanted? I can't imagine that's what they wanted. I'll push the Soulscar Mage. And just take 2. Yeah, that didn't feel like that was what they wanted to happen. So they're running Izzet Wizards, which is a deck I will be trying, and probably the next one I'll be trying. So I think I'll leave in Thoughtseize on the draw, but I definitely want Suplex as a removal spell for VV. I think do I want Damping Sphere as well in this matchup? I think I probably do. So I'll stick in Damping Sphere. Go for the Throat Anoint with Affliction, just as much of that kind of removal as we can pile in. Ditch Thoughtseize. Let's also lose a Garland and a Brynhilda when they're on the draw. I don't mind Dark Confidant in this matchup. It's only ever going to draw us 1 or 2 cards. There. Okay. I think put back Mutavolt here and just hope for the best. Definitely going to have some words with someone at Wizards about this. Demand some sort of recount. Yeah, I'll play Garland. I'm on the hoof for quite a lot of damage. Probably. So I don't have any removal. Yes, I think I'm just hoping... Oh dear. Well, I suppose that reduces the damage they can do individually. But... to only 2. Okay, well... that could have been worse. Next turn is going to be horrific. But... yeah, that's not removal either. So I think I'm going to cast Fear. Just hope to hit something like a Fatal Push. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I suspect I'm very dead this turn. Well, that was fun. We must do this again. Okay, right. Well, let's be on the play. Take out. And let's just not have to mull to 5 with no removal. Still a pretty shitty hand. I can't. If that had been a dual land, I might have kept it, but this is where I have to practice my meditative breathing. Okay, them using their 1-mana spells now, I don't mind too much. I think I'll get Preacher out first. It's got slightly higher toughness and is a potential source of card advantage. Okay. Quite like Fable here. Again, the Slick Shot is going to hit me for quite a lot of damage, but kind of just the world we're in. No sorcery speed, no instant speed removal, rather. Okay, well that could have been worse. So let's ditch land and probably FOMO. Now, Brynhilda. Suplex this show off. Get myself a 1-1. At least I have Damping Sphere next turn. And a Corey Steelcutter, but nothing doing with it. Okay. So, see, I can't both Slasher and Damping Sphere, but I feel like slashing is better. I might draw a land. I did. Marvellous. So they go to 4. I play Damping Sphere. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, good. We managed to get a win in at the end there. Yeah. How did this deck do? It did okay. It wasn't amazing, let's be honest. Dark Confidant was pretty good in some games, but pretty unimpactful in others. So, yeah. It's a mixed record. And obviously, deck's not particularly well tuned, it's just jamming a whole load of new cards. So yeah, this might not be the right build for a lot of those cards, but it's worth, I think, an experimentation. Excalibur the Second. Okay, this card's an interesting one. I have to try that at some point. Yeah, no, so in terms of the new cards, yeah, Dark Confidant, still the jury's out, I think. Still very easily removed. Summon Brynhilda seemed good. Kind of that combination of the haste. Garland was a bit weak. Cecil was also felt a bit weak. I don't think this is the right build for Cecil either. I was just kind of jamming it as a new card, but I think there's somewhere you probably want that in a sort of dedicated life loss deck or something that has a bit more life gain later on. I don't know. That's probably I think there are better places for that. But yeah, on the whole, an interesting first start. Some decent cards there. Whether they're strong enough to kind of make an impact on how powerful Pioneer is in the year 2025, not sure. You know, I think this was probably the best of them in terms of its performance. Just that kind of extra card advantage. It feels a bit of a waste for the opponent to use removal on it because it's going away anyway, giving creatures haste, which combines quite nicely with cards like Unstoppable Slasher or Preacher. So yeah, there was some decent interaction here. Yeah, there we are. Rakdos Midrange, first deck of Final Fantasy. Interesting. But let me know what you think in the comments. Here's the deck list, as usual, also in the description. I've got, must remember to plug this now, I've got the Coffee account. If you do feel like contributing to the channel, it is greatly appreciated, as is liking and subscribing. Whichever way you want to do it, I always appreciate it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have I already said that? I might have done. I don't know. These outros, I haven't worked out a patter for these outros yet. Now that I mentioned the Coffee account, it's thrown me. I'm out of sync. But yeah, plenty more of this kind of stuff to come. I mean the gameplay, not the rambling. And I'll see you next time.